Hey, trick-or-treating when you were a kid, were you one of those kids that basically had all the candy in the world that you collected or anything? Or were you one of those that were too scared to go knock on the door and it's like, oh, and then you let your little brother or your big sister or whatever hand you off some candy, because you were too lazy to go knock and do it yourself?
So are you scared or are you lazy?
So you're scared, you're lazy, or you're lazy, scared, or were you just shy? So let's talk about that, because we're talking about Halloween and trick-or-treating, coming to you next. ¿Qué lo que hay, mi gente? Bienvenido once again to the Jay and Rose Show, a Puerto Rican VCast. And we're talking about Halloween and trick-or-treating. What better can you... It's one of the best holidays, you know why? Because chocolate. I love chocolate. I just love chocolate. Do you like chocolate? Do you like chocolate, baby? Do you like chocolate?
I love it.
She loves chocolate. So, one of the best holidays because it's just candy. It's all about candy. Nothing else. Costumes and candies. That's all it is. You don't even need to cook.
Decorations.
Well, yeah, but we'll get to that later on. But let's face it, people. Halloween. You don't have to cook. You don't have to clean up after dinner or whatever. Thanksgiving, you cook, you have a dinner, you watch a football game, then it comes to clean up. Christmas, the same thing. Christmas Eve, you have the dinner, blah blah. Christmas Day, you have the breakfast, you get the presents. Then what comes after that? The cleanup. But Halloween is get a plastic bag, collect as many candies that you can get, and start munching away. And just throw those wrappers away, because that's the only cleanup you got to do is clean up after yourself on the wrappers. Like always, my wife Rosa. Say hi, baby.
Hello.
Oh, that was sexy. Well, anyway, but talking about, let's talk a little bit about trick or treating, because I've noticed, and I've had these thoughts, and I started reminiscing about the days of old, when I used to trick or treat.
That was eons ago.
And then I continued trick or treating when the kids were young, and then there were kids. And
because you're a kid yourself.
Of course. Absolutely. Always. But we're talking about when I was really, really a kid versus nowadays, and it's different. And then the other thing that I want to bring, it's how a traditional trick-or-treating here in America compares to trick-or-treating in Puerto Rico, because I've done both. When I was a kid, we lived in the island, a little kid, about 6-7 years old, and we trick-or-treated in Puerto Rico.
Interesting story.
But it's different. It's a little bit different.
How is it different?
So here in the States, babe. You go door to door, right?
Right.
And if you get treated, you get treated. If you get tricked, hey, that's on you. But you go door to door. And then if you get tricked, that's when for next year, on Mischief Night, you got to egg that house. It's mandatory. You write that on your list. Okay.
I think they TP. They don't egg anymore.
They what?
TP.
What do you mean TP? What's TP? Because if I tell you about the TP that we used to do, yeah, no. So what's TP?
Toilet paper.
Oh, toilet paper. No, that's too expensive right now. COVID? Are you kidding me? With COVID going on, you think they're going
to that,
toilet paper?
You don't egg a person's house. You would TP.
No, you egg their cars. It makes it worse.
Oh no, that's awful. You're bad. You were always a bad child.
We're kids. I'm not going to do it now.
Yes, you would if you could.
No, I would not. Well, so
yes, you
getting back. So getting back to trick or treat in Puerto Rico. How is it different? It's slightly different, but not too different. One is that well, of course, you go house to house, but you're not going to get so many participating houses. I don't think, I mean, people in Puerto Rico are too religious for Halloween. It's my thought. You know, not a lot of people there. They say, "Oh, that's the thing of the devil." Blah blah blah. This and that. I don't participate on devil things. You know, well, but what's so cool about it? When I was a kid, I don't know if they still do, is that believe it or not, candy stores participate. And when I mean candy stores, it's not like a candy store here in the States. So in Puerto Rico, for each school that you see, like if you drive by a school, no matter if it's a high school, elementary school, junior high, or whatever, you're always going to find 1, 2, maybe 3, I want to call them deli, like a little deli stores, or it's
so just a deli market.
No, it's not it's of course it's not going to be a market. It's just like a small little shack, right?
So they are okay.
Huh?
I know what you're talking about. There was the one in Ay Bonito.
Yeah. So you notice, like where your uncle lived in Ay Bonito, that school that they closed down, right across the street. You saw that building there.
Yes,
that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So it looks like a little small bakery, but usually they'll have candy stuff, chips, a deli to make sandwiches and everything. Because in Puerto Rico, you know, the kids, they take 3 breaks. You know, it's just like a regular work day for them. You know, so they usually have the morning break where what they call it, you know, it's a 15-minute break between classes, and they'll run out there and they'll buy candy or whatever, you know, just to pump that sugar in their system so they can wake up or anything like that. At lunchtime, most of them will go in there and they'll buy a sandwich because they don't like what the cafeteria is serving that day or anything like that. And then on the afternoon break, you know, they usually get something to drink and something cool to cool down because it gets really hot in the afternoons. But on Halloween, those stores they'll remain open and they will hand off candy to the kids, and that's pretty cool because, you know.
Now, did you guys have like ages? Like, were there all like ages, or because you know here in the States, once you get to a certain age, I mean, really. Well,
it's just like nowadays. I mean, like last year I saw you get your teenagers that just want to go and get candy, so they'll just like put a mask on. But I tell you, the adults have more fun trick or treating than the kids did back then, because I mean they're the first ones that will go and while they're buying their kids their costume or making their costume, most of the time they make their costumes.
So you guys made yours?
Like oh no. I mean the 2 years that I trick or treated in Puerto Rico, I had that superhero kind of thing, you know, the Superman, but that thing was like a plastic onesie. You put the whole bodysuit thing, just a plastic.
So you sounded like a walking trash bag.
And then you put that mask that's got that rubber elastic thing that cuts right through your head, you know. So yeah, and then you can't breathe because the thing is like, you got the little mouth thing. And then the little nose,
nostrils.
on the nose, it's got these 2 little holes and then eye holes, right? So yeah, you know what I'm talking about. People, hey, my people out there, you know what I'm talking about, though. Especially those my age kind of deal people. You know, you know what we went through when we trick or treated back in those days. And now the adults will go and buy the rubber ones with the wolf and the hairs and all that, and cover their face, and then they go driving around town like with it on, like it's like, oh, nobody's gonna know who I am. It's like, well, of course they're gonna know. If they know your car, they know who the hell you are. So I mean, it was kind of stupid, but they would be the first ones to be asking for candy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you go trick or treating, and check this out. And then because there's no time limit on Halloween night in Puerto Rico, I don't know
Really?
about now because I mean, it's gotten worse. With crime and but back then, you could trick or treat all the way to midnight.
Seriously.
Yeah, be out there in the middle of the night doing it. Knocking on people's doors. Hey, it's 10 o'clock at night. Yo, you better have some candy for me. But
oh no, you would get a bucket of water.
and then check this out. If you didn't have enough collected around the neighborhood and everything, this is how cool your parents were back in the days. And I'm not just speaking of my dad or my mom, but I'm speaking about like my neighbors' dads and everything. Like everybody that was in our neighborhood, we will actually get in the car with our parents, and they will take us to our relatives' houses to go get trick or treat candy and everything.
Obviously, they would call ahead and let them know.
I'm guessing that's what happened, but we always received something, and sometimes what's so cool about it? It was not always about candy. We used to get toys. Like I remember my sister got a Barbie one year. Trick or treating from one of my aunts or something like that.
Hold on.
Yes, I remember that.
Hold up. You go trick or treating and end up with a
Barbie. Yes, that was my sister, and I think, but she got it like from a relative, like not from the next door neighbor. Oh, here's a Barbie, young lady, whatever. No, it was from the relatives. Now, let me give you a heads up. Pumpkin carving. So pumpkin carving in Puerto Rico, to me, it's illegal. It's against the law. Unless you want to end up with a big ass whooping or dead, do not go carving pumpkins in Puerto Rico.
What did you do?
Okay, so it's our first year in Puerto Rico. First time in Puerto Rico. Okay, we practically didn't know any Spanish at that time. And it's our first Halloween. So let me phrase this word to you, America. Calabaza. If you hear the word calabaza,
It doesn't mean tatas.
it has different meanings. In English, it means pumpkin. It means green squash. It means yellow squash. It means butter squash. It means any kind of squash there is in this world, they call it calabaza.
Calabaza.
That's right. Calabaza. So my mom had the biggest green calabaza
It just
at
didn't
home.
sound right.
At home. That thing was plump. That thing must have been like 25 pounds. Big old thing. And me and my sister decided that we're going to do our carving. We thought that it was bought for us to carve. So we decided we were going to carve this thing. When we showed our parents our final project, we got the biggest ass whooping in the world. Because apparently that type of pumpkin
Was for
calabaza, it's for cooking, my people.
So what did you do with the guts?
Beans, when you buy
So you threw away the guts?
We threw everything away. Like we gutted that thing out and everything, and and then the little chunks that we took out for the eyes, we threw that away. We threw everything away.
Wow.
Yeah, big old pumpkin. Yeah. Yeah, we find out that, we will never, ever carve a pumpkin again in our life. So to this day, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, I carved some pumpkins last year, but I knew
They
were
weren't
fake.
real.
They were fake. But real
There's
pumpkins,
one downstairs.
Yeah,
that's
I'm not
white.
touching that. I'm not touching that albino thing. That thing is creepy.
You know, the night that we had,
We have an albino pumpkin that my mother-in-law decided that she was going to buy and bring it. I don't know what she wants to do with it, but
I don't know
that.
either.
But if
It's sitting
it
on
gets
top
carved,
of the grill.
if it gets carved, it's going to be an albino pumpkin. We'll have an albino pumpkin.
So when she got that pumpkin, you know, when we got home, I was trying to figure out who was in our yard. Jamie sat it on top of the grill, and it looked like a person was standing in the yard.
Oh, of course, yeah. I thought we had a new thing. I was like, oh shit, we got another thing I got to put up in the front. I actually thought that it was like a ghost thing. And I forgot that I saw Jamie put it there because Jamie left it there because that thing was heavy. Plain and simple. I did not see Jamie take it out of the car. And I saw that she put something up on top of the grill because she's, oh my God, this thing is heavy. And then eventually I was in the backyard and I looked over. I was like, oh crap, we got more ornaments to put up.
All right, so let's talk about decorations here in the U.S. and decorations in PR.
No, there's no decorations in PR.
None?
That's you cut that out real quick. They don't decorate.
They don't decorate.
No.
Okay.
They don't decorate.
Unlike here where we have our neighbors who...
They decorate themselves. That's it.
Okay.
I
So
mean,
then-
you should, now they can put some costumes on now. Let me tell you about that. They can put some costumes. Oh, they if they make their own costumes, they'll make the most unique costume ever. You can find a scarecrow from the Wizard of Oz with Freddy Krueger hands, Jason Mask, and the Wicked Witch of the East, or
all in one?
All in one. But,
That's the Wicked Witch
let me
of
tell
the
you about
West.
I mean, I'm so amazed how we costumes have come to be, because like I mentioned earlier, you know, my costume was this bodysuit, this plastic bodysuit.
Yep.
You know, that you sweat your ass off, and sometimes you just rip it, and then
How
with
the
that
heck
mask.
do you rip?
And then I mean, just last year we bought our nephew a what was it, babe?
Black Panther.
A Black Panther, and that thing had muscles. I
He
mean,
had a
like literally,
six-pack.
like buff. Like I wanted
Built
to put
in.
that damn thing on. I didn't care it didn't fit me or anything. I just wanted to put it on. I wanted to put the top on so then I can put a t-shirt over it.
He's such a dork.
But I mean, it made a chubby little kid look like he was Arnold.
Yeah,
And
I
then
did.
I swear to God, I was like, hey, you know, and I tell you, costumes, and that was like the cheap model, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, imagine like I really want to get me a Darth Vader. I really do, like an
Oh.
authentic Darth Vader, and then I'm gonna have to get Gene Simmons' boots just so I can match. So everybody, you know who I'm talking about from
Well, you know,
Kiss.
you
Gene
can
Simmons from
actually,
Kiss.
you don't even have to do that. You can actually purchase boots for men because, you know, you have a lot of men who actually dress in drag. They wear thigh-high boots.
Okay.
So there are boots actually made for them.
We're talking about the heels, right? We're not talking about
The boots that you're wanting to wear, yes.
yeah, because you know I'm only 5'7", and Darth Vader he was like 6'7", 6'8". Yeah, tall dude.
I don't
man.
know. I never met him.
Darth Vader's like 6'7", 6'8". Like, so I will have to get Gene Simmons' boots from Kiss.
Okay.
So and those are the closest boots I can find.
But then you have to sound like James Earl Jones.
No, the mask that I found, it has that voice thing. So when you talk, it deepens your voice.
Oh my goodness.
Look, and he even gives you the breathing. It does.
Okay, you can stop because now I got a wet willy in my ear
Why would you have a wet willy in your ear?
from all that hard breathing.
Anyway, so costumes. I mean, they. What I'm trying to say is that people don't go out of their way to celebrate Halloween that much. I believe because there's too many religious people in Puerto Rico.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But compared to the States, it's nothing. It's it's just nothing. It's just, if you do it, you do it. If you don't, but it's different.
Now, here's a question. So you lived in PR when you were younger, but then you moved away, but then you went back because you served for the armed forces. So did you see a difference then when you were a child?
Okay, so the thing is that,
or was it because you were just on a military installation?
Exactly. So I was in a military installation. I was in a military base. So the housing there, everything, it was traditional, house to house. And then on top of that, it was what we're getting used to nowadays. And that's the thing that the point that I want to come to about, is it trick or treat really worth it? Because the fun about trick or treating was nighttime, dark, doing the spooky things. Maybe one kid, somebody always had their yard set up where they have somebody animated that it will scare the kids, give you that
thrill,
that rush before you get that candy in the bag or anything like that. But most communities, like from the last community that I came from, you couldn't trick or treat at dark. Once it was sundown, trick or treat is over. They didn't want any kids or anybody on the streets after dark. The same deal was in Arizona. In Arizona, you only had one time frame to actually trick or treat, and that's because of the weather. They actually used to let you do it at dark, but it was between once sundown went down until I think it was like 8:30.
Right, because last year it was from 6 to 8.
Yeah, but
now they're
6 to 8
changing it.
here is already dark.
Right.
So I remember when I was, where I was raised here in the States, man, we used to go trick or treating. It's like we felt like we were out there all night, And but the thing is, where that same town where I was raised at and came from, nowadays you can't do it at nighttime. It starts sometime during the afternoon, and at sundown, at sunset, once it gets dark, that's it. No, and you get fined. If they find you and your kids on the road trick or treating at that time, they give you a citation.
Okay.
So we're still giving the fun to the kids, but we're taking away some of the fun. And I don't find any fun about it. Fun to us, I'm old now and everything, but fun to us was actually
walking
the night before. The night before Halloween, we used to call it Mischief Night. That was the fun night.
That's because you're mischievous.
Because that's when
my biggest thing about
egged and you toilet papered the houses and everything.
My big thing about
really
Halloween now is that it's not as it used to be, and I wish it would go back to that, where parents would walk in groups or just with their kids, and they would literally just walk. There's none of this caravan of kids that lived on 10 miles away in a whole separate side of the town, coming all the way this way, being driven all over the place to try and get as much candy as possible. And my mind frame is, why are you driving your kids all over town to go trick-or-treating The amount of money you spent on gas, you could pay that $20 for that bag of candy of 250 pieces.
Well, maybe there's some people that probably they want to do that for the kids, and they want to give them a good neighborhood where they can actually walk through house to house.
But they're not
they
walking.
Come
That's the problem.
From apartment complexes or projects or anything like that. I mean, I remember the kids that lived in the projects back in the days where I grew up. They used to go across town to the good neighborhoods to go trick-or-treating.
I understand that, but that's not what's happening now.
No, what I'm saying is, what I've been noticing that's lately is it's that if you're gonna send your kid trick-or-treating and you send them out by yourself, let them have their fun, okay? Don't be that parent that takes your kid trick-or-treating and then you're not even paying attention because you're like 20 feet behind, stuck on the phone, looking down at the phone. You don't even know if your kid is missing or not. And then once in a while, in a blue moon, 2 blocks later, your kid's in a different block and you're still in that same block and you're yelling for your kid. Well, guess what? Your kid's not going to wait for you to trick-or-treat. So if you're going to go with your kid trick-or-treating, put the phone away. People, we can live without a phone. I mean, I lived without a phone back in the days. I can put my phone away just so I can pay attention to the kids. That's my troublesome. That's what I get really mad about is those parents that they're paying more attention to a freaking phone than their own kids.
Now, we had fun last year with the nieces and the nephew.
Of course we did.
I mean, we dressed up and
what's the first thing we did? We did a neighborhood walk and we put the phones away. But yet, what do I see? I see little kids. I mean, I'm talking about 3-4-year-olds running across the street, running around and everything. Meanwhile, mama is over here texting, not even paying attention to her kids.
Not everybody has priorities, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, if your kid is not your number one priority, then you have a problem with that.
Well, let's not get into that discussion because that's not about this segment.
Well, anyway, yeah, we'll talk about that somehow, somewhere, some other time.
Some other time.
Yeah, because I'm getting heated already.
Fun time.
Anyway,
okay, so let's talk about Halloween decorations. Now, we know we have a neighbor of ours. Well, I wouldn't say a neighbor, but a neighbor within our, 2-3 block neighborhood.
He lives a block away. People, he lives a block away. He's like literally like a block away.
He has a very eclectic collection of Halloween characters.
My man got the 70s, 80s, 90s, and in the 2Ks covered in horror films. Okay, the whole yard, it's covered. Okay, he's got Freddy over here with Jason over there. He even got
an American werewolf.
An American werewolf.
He has the military zombie.
I don't know about that. The American werewolf.
The military zombie.
How do you have a werewolf with a gorilla body? That's killing me. It's killing me.
He has to show the muscles. The muscles.
The muscles on a gorilla suit. Do you know the gorilla's torso is front? It's bald, right, and it shows his pecs.
I didn't pay attention to it.
Have you ever seen that on a werewolf?
I didn't pay attention to the werewolf.
I can understand.
Only
like
seen
20
its face.
tetas running down.
Mira pa allá, listen to you.
About 20 tetas running down on the side of his torso.
I didn't see that.
But no, it's a gorilla suit.
Now, didn't you see that there was
any sports
with
fans?
Some. You said she had Guess or Jordache. Jeans.
So the best thing that I saw actually was it was a sawed off torso. It was just like the bottom half, and it was just like from the waist down with the spine sticking out, right, all bloody and gushy and everything. wearing Guess designer jeans. Yes. You know that was a female that got cut in half.
In the 80s.
It was Guess jeans, but it was little Guess jeans, little booty Guess jeans. So
wait, whoa.
yo, the thing looked good.
Booty jeans. How did you know they were booty jeans?
Yeah, we can go. You can know they're booty jeans.
I don't even
apple bottoms.
know.
Apple bottoms. She had apple bottoms on. Apple
I don't
bottoms.
even want to know. That's 90s.
Apple bottoms.
Or was that 2000? I don't even
know.
No. Okay.
The one that's wearing the designer jeans, it's Freddie. He's wearing designer. He's got Timberland boots on with designer Levi's, okay? With a designer flannel shirt.
Oh
He's
my.
just chilling. He's chilling. And then his glove, yeah, no, that's not working either. You know, the man did the Freddy Krueger gloves, but I don't know about that because he looked like he used butter knives and just put them together. And now, but he looked cool as hell because he's dressed out in designer. He's just chilling by the tree, and hey, Freddy's Freddy. You know, Freddy was cool. Freddy was scary in the first movie, but then he just got like, then he got corny, and then he just got really cool. Like, you know, so by the time.
All right. So was there Michael Myers? Because I didn't see Michael Myers.
Yeah, there's Michael Myers. Michael Myers is over by the shed. He's all the way in the other side of the house.
I know he'd have a very scary collection of clowns. Ugh.
Yes, and I think he had. Oh man, this man went off. Like he's got skeletons like holding down the house with chains. He's got
those big tarantulas on the house.
Oh yeah, the big spiders.
Yeah.
Also, he also has Wayne's World hanging off the door. he's got Wayne and Garth. Is it Garth? Wayne and Garth hanging off the side of the doors, the main doors. Your favorite Jack? Jack.
Yes.
Jack looks like he's buffed and serious. Jack looks like he's on steroids.
Yes, he
like
does.
He's like, you know how Jack
he
from
looks very
The Nightmare
mean.
Before Christmas is really skinny with a big round head.
Scary.
This guy looks like he's got a 12-pack running there and big muscle arms, and yeah, he looks scary as hell.
All right. So, question for you: when you were a kid, was there always a house that you knew that what kind of candy you were gonna get? Like you always knew what houses would give out the chocolate bars and the good candy. And then there were other houses where you weren't quite sure, but then you ended up with like slices of fruitcake. Yes, that happened to me once. The mini fruitcakes.
So there was this one house in the neighborhood we used to avoid all the time because we used to call it the fruit house. We used to get fruit, like fresh fruit. So, who wants fresh fruit? Basically, the first time we grabbed the fresh fruit from that person, we basically used it to toss it to kill some jack-o'-lanterns from another house. And so, yeah.
You're bad.
So, but we decided that, after that, we were going to just eliminate that house out of our list.
Rotation.
Yeah, no, that house was like we're like
banned.
We're like 501, 503. You know how the odd numbers go.
Right.
501, 503. Skip 505, 507. And then basically we didn't have a favorite house. I mean, we used to get
not a favorite house, but maybe houses. Like you knew one certain, like on your block.
We have favorite neighborhoods because we knew.
Right, that's what I mean.
We knew that the best candy was going to come out of that
neighborhood.
That neighborhood. Oh yeah, I mean, we used to like growing up. I used to live in the north side of. I'm not going to mention the town. I lived in the north side of the town, okay, which is primarily middle upper class, okay? Middle upper class, and by that time, that, and okay, let's say northeast, the northeast side, because then the northwest is just like it goes low. Our town is divided by this railroad track. You got the west side of the town and the east side of the town. Then you go north and south. Anything west from that, anything west, north or south, is mostly industrial and low housing.
Okay, low income housing.
Okay. Anything east from that railroad track, the further east you went, or the further northeast you went, it was high class.
All right, Jefferson.
Like moving on up. Yeah, just like the Jeffersons, moving to the east side. Okay, so
oh goodness,
this is the only time. This is the only town. So, America, people in America, people that are going to be watching this video and everything. I'm about to say something, and if he's from that town, you know who I'm talking about. What town am I talking about? So, there's the east side, and then there's the east side. Okay, if you lived in the east side, you were well off. If you lived in the east side, oh, you really well off. And that's where the good chocolate bars were. You went to party and everything. That's you find out there's a party in the east side. You're gonna show up to that party, even if you don't know the people. You're gonna show up. That's where the good stuff was at. Okay, so anything in the east side. Yeah, we used to take that long trip just to go to the east side in our bikes. Okay, our bikes. Lord. We didn't have our parents drive us there. In our bikes, and then we used to hide our bikes in the woods somewhere and go trick-or-treating in the east side of, I'm not going to mention the town.
And I bet you went to pick up girls too.
Oh, all the time.
All the time, of course.
Of course. I mean,
now, do you think that's going to be the new thing where people are going to use holidays like this? Because obviously you need controlled areas due to COVID.
Well, here's the thing. I don't want to say because COVID's here and we're going through this pandemic thing and everything is limited. But I believe that this holiday is dying. The Halloween spirit thing, it's dying. I mean, you don't see as much support from the government or your local municipalities when it comes to ruling on the trick-or-treating thing and letting the kids have their fun and everything. And then you're having less, every year you have less and less participants. Like, basically, I remember, I mean, just last year, we bought how many bags of candy thinking, oh, this is not going to, let's buy more because this is not going to be enough. But then we ended up, with 2.5 bags over because not enough trick-or-treaters came around. And he was like, and I remember you saying, oh my God, last year this would have been gone.
That's true.
And we're talking about 2019 people. We're not talking about trick or treating here in 2020 because it hasn't happened yet. And then because of the pandemic, we're going to have less trick or treaters. And why? Because for do that non-contact thing, and then you can't socialize because I'm the type that I like to animate. If I'm not going to go trick or treating, I want to be there, so when the kids come, and I'll dress myself up, and I'll. I mean, the year before, I dressed up as Batman, and I did my Batman tricks and all that. I mean, seriously, I entertain the kids, because that's just me. That's how I am. But you every year you get less and less. I mean, we bought the same amount of candy that we did the year before, thinking, oh, last year it wasn't enough, but we ran dry. But last year, same amount, and it was like, wow, what a drop, because you ever seen them big Walmart bags, them big Walmart, like big 25-pound bags of candy? you know, you get left off with 2 of those bags, man. That's a lot of candy. That means not a lot of kids came trick or treating.
Or we went through it and picked the ones that we wanted.
Oh no, I did that afterwards. I mean,
Bull
I
crap.
did
That was beforehand.
No, we gave away good candy. No, I can't say anything about mom though. Okay.
No. Hey, watch yourself.
Hey, you know.
Yeah, I know I'm right.
You know.
I know.
You know.
I know.
Yeah.
Now, I did some reading on how, like, ideas, like how we were going to do this trick or treating once it had said that they were going to allow it. So had to think, like, how are we going to do this trick or treating contactless? And not only that, but how for the kids who are trick or treating, how to do it contactless. Because, you know, they don't really know. So I had heard some great ideas and I had chosen one. So one was, there is a gentleman who created a PVC tube, decorated it, attached it to the railing of his porch, and his family, he and his wife, will toss candy down and the kids will pick it up on the other end.
So like a mail shoot.
It's a candy shoot.
A candy shoot.
A
Here you go.
candy shoot. So that was one. Then the other was
But here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing about the shoot. How far away are they going to be? Like, how big is this shoot? And are they going to be outside? Are they going to be inside their house? And they're going to put that through the screen door or something?
No, they're on their porch.
Okay.
They're sitting on their porch.
Okay.
So the steps are probably 4 to 5 steps.
So they're not going to anybody allowed to get up to the porch. So what I'm saying is, as soon as
there's
that
nobody
kid
walking
comes up
up.
the walkway,
Once they get
they'll be shooting that thing. Hey, there you go. Grab your candy and go.
No, they wait till the kid gets to the end of the tube and then they'll bring it down.
They'll bring it down. They'll shoot it down.
They'll shoot it down.
They'll shoot it down. Yes. All right, next.
Yep. Exactly.
Trick or treat. Trick or treat.
But it's gonna be fun.
Trick or treat. You know how many bags you gotta You know how many bags you gotta make for that? So
well, first of all, I didn't say he was making bags of candy.
Oh, he's just gonna shoot the candies.
He's just shooting candies, right?
So okay. So here's the that's a great idea. Don't get me wrong, it's a great idea. But here's the little problem I got on that. And let me.
Oh Lord.
My problem is the kids. You're socially distancing yourself from each other, but are the kids going to be socially? Because once he shoots those candy loose and that thing comes out, and half of them going to at the depending at the elevation, the way it's
see, you're over.
No, what if the candy goes flying and the kids will be like, oh, you know how kids are? They're going to be fighting over candy.
He's already tested it with his own kids. So they had.
It's all kids are scared of him. They're not gonna do anything.
Bull crap.
Test it with the next door kids, or tell your kids, bring your friends over. Let's see how this works.
Okay, so what they did is they got their Halloween buckets, because they had buckets, the pumpkin buckets, and they stuck it under the chute, and his wife dropped the candy, and it slid right into the bucket. Okay, now you're social. Okay, now listen.
So now I have a full bucket. And I just happen to reach this house right now. Mm-hmm. And she's gonna shoot that candy down there. I'm gonna put my full bucket on there. That candy is gonna hit the candy that I already have placed in that bucket, and it's gonna go all over the floor. And guess what's gonna happen? Fumble.
All right, you're overreacting.
Fumble.
Because you got to remember, parents are really being cognizant of COVID. So they're not going to have their kids running up. They're going to allow distancing if they're not together in a group. But they're also teaching them courtesy. Now, I'm not going to say all of them are, But I noticed that there are some parents who are making sure that they're showing common courtesy. So I don't think it's going to be chaotic. I think that was ingenious. It was smart. It was safe, and it was fun, because that's what a lot of these people are trying to do. They're trying to bring back fun in all this chaos. So, however, we're going to be slightly different. What I have decided to do was to use the Dino Grabbers.
She decided.
Yeah, I did. Dino Grabbers. And we are going to do Halloween goodie bags. So there's no more of this, are we going to run out of candy? Are we going to... No. Everything's going to be even.
So we're doing baggies?
Yes, we're doing goodie bags.
With the grabbers?
Mm-hmm.
So are we... What are we... How big are these bags? What are we putting in them? Because you know how skeptical people are these days about loose candies and unwrapped candies and...
Oh, no. They're not unwrapped.
We're not doing the popcorn thing, are we? Are we putting popcorns in those bags?
Those popcorns are not going to make it till the 30th.
You damn right I ain't going to make it. Shoot, I went through a half a bag today.
Those popcorn balls will not make it to the 30th.
No, I'm not talking about the popcorn balls. I'm talking about the loose popcorn.
Oh, no, that's ours.
Oh.
That's ours.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I thought that was for Halloween.
No, love. That's ours.
Nah, now I know. America, now we know.
No, but so what we're going to do is we're going to use the Dino Grabbers.
Okay.
And that will allow us to...
Do we have grabbers?
Did
you get grabbers?
They're coming. They'll be here very soon in the next few days.
She's on top of this stuff, so hey.
And we already have the goodie bags. We just have to put them all together. You saw that we had bought the bags of candy. And I pulled out the candy bin. So we're just going to stuff these bags. And they have little twisties. And there we go. We have our bags. There's about 50 bags. Will we have 50 kids? I don't know. But we're prepared.
I'd say 50 kids will be. I think the numbers.
And even if we don't have,
the numbers are going to go down drastically this year.
They may.
People are still skeptical, especially the new wave knocking around the door right now, and then flu season coming in, and people are going to be confused. They're going to be confusing flu with COVID. Yeah, I don't think people are going to be taking their chances that much.
That's true, because we did get kind of, I got lazy with our costumes this year.
You notice that they cut the hours down on trick-or-treating too.
They made it actually, no, they didn't cut the hours down. They made it earlier.
See, it goes back to my other point. Earlier, so now there's some daylight in there. Daylight.
So my understanding is that, and let me double check, but I want to say the time is now from 5 to 7, before it was
still a 2-hour
6
thing.
to 8.
I mean, people take more than 2 hours. What I like about it is that they're not as strict as where I came from, where they say, 2 hours, not 201. At 201, you be cited. And so
let's see here. So we've got the mayor of Dover.
I'll cut it out.
Okay, so the mayor has decided that he is going to move forward with the plans to allow the Halloween trick-or-treating, and they're also going to host the annual holiday celebration in December. So they're going to continue with doing that. And the time for but they canceled some of the events that normally happen during trick or treating.
Well, they're going to cancel anything that has to do with groups and I mean, like the dance, that's
the
canceled.
National Night Out has been, and the Safe Trick or Treat. So the Safe Trick or Treat was where actually people were going to, if I'm correct, I think this is where, and this is same as some church organizations, where they do trunk and treat. They would have the Halloween candy, and they would do it from their vehicles. And it's like a large group of people who would all join, and
right.
And like you said, but
I mean, where's the fun in that though? The kids in the car.
No. The kids are not in the car. So what it is you take all your cars and you open up your trunk. You decorate your trunk.
So you're tailgating.
Yes, it's like
It's a tailgate trick or treat.
Yeah.
Still, it's a tailgate trick or treat, which is against the law right now to tailgate. During this COVID, they don't want anybody. Not even in games. Like people that are allowed to, like the football games, like they're having the college football games, the stadiums that are allowing fans going. You're not allowed to tailgate anymore. You're allowed to park, and you park your car like 7 car distance from the other car, and it's limited to how many people can go into the stadium. So the same thing, you can't tailgate parties anymore. You even if you're doing it at a stadium or you're doing it at an event like this, you can't do it because unless you go to park your car here, and then the next car is like 3 or 4 blocks down the way. And where's the safe handling in that? I mean, I'm not gonna let anybody go into my trunk. I don't know what they're putting in my trunk, or I can't see them because I can't stand by my trunk. I'm too close.
Right. Well, that's where the dino grabbers come in hand. But anyway, so
you got 6 foot long dino grabbers.
They may not be dino on the end, but yeah, they do have 6
so
feet
I'm walk
grabber.
around trick or treating with a 6 foot long dino grabber. By the time I swing that thing around to put it in my bag, I don't want to trick or treat anymore.
I was really bothered because I was going to try and do something different this year for Halloween.
Okay.
I remember one year we had gone to the rec center. I was an Air Force brat, and there was a long table, and there was these people sitting in front of these boxes, and you didn't see what was in these boxes, but you had to stick your hands in there, and they would ask you, what do you think you're feeling? And you feel spaghetti, and they would say, no, that's intestines, and you'd be like, ew. Okay. You feel the deviled eggs. You feel the not the deviled eggs, but you would feel eggs. You would touch eggs, and they would say they're eyeballs. Mm-hmm. That kind of thing. And I wanted to do something like that.
No.
I thought it would be so cool.
Well, if we ever leave this COVID thing, that's a good idea, though. We can try that.
Just for fun.
I mean, we're now. I think and I don't say because COVID, but I think it's dying. Unless you're in a town that's very rich in customs and traditions. I know those northern towns, those like those northern eastern towns, and are very rich when it comes to Christmas.
Salem, Massachusetts, for their Halloween. Well, yeah, Sleepy Hollow.
Stories come out of there. Right. So but overall in America, I the Halloween thing, I think it's just.
Well, I think it's
dying. It's really dying. Well, then
if it's a tradition that people, I think one of the things that the reason why it is because everything keeps getting commercialized.
All right. Yeah. Well, everything's commercialized.
Everything gets commercialized.
I mean,
you looked at me silly
and then-
today when I had started talking about Christmas, and you're like,
everything,
Rosa, we haven't even
everything's
gotten
being
to
made
Halloween.
Easier for us to do. Like less and less. The less and less that we physically do, it's what's taking over.
Exactly.
So, I mean,
More DIYs.
I mean, I love Halloween. Don't get me wrong. I love Halloween. I love trick or treating. That's just me. In this family, we do
celebrate all of the
holidays.
holidays.
We do the holidays. We decorate every single holiday that there can be that we can decorate, and we celebrate it. And I mean, and we celebrate it hard. But that's this family, and I think tradition will continue in this family as we do so. But overall, I believe it's just dying. Anyway, we're coming to near the end. It was a good chat. I like it. I really liked it. We covered a couple things, and I mean,
We did.
I mean,
It could have been more fun though. It seemed too serious.
If you're one of my Puerto Rican peoples out there, and you have anything to share with us, comment down below. I mean, if things have changed in Puerto Rico about trick or treating, I mean, if they're doing it more. I mean, I haven't been in Puerto Rico in the last 4 or 5 years, but I mean, the last time I was there, it was still going on. And it was still the same as when I was a kid. When I'm saying where it's dying at, I think it's dying more here in the States than what it is over there. Because over there it was something neutral. So it was not something big, not something that people go out of their way to celebrate. So it's kept up. Now here is something big, or you get something big, humongous, something like imagine you take the Super Bowl and you bring it up to blah, blah, and all of a sudden, like this year, how big is the Super Bowl going to be this year with no fans?
Interesting.
You know, look at that. I mean, TV ratings are going to be off the chart. But can you imagine you doing the Super Bowl halftime show? Who's there to cheer you?
They'll probably do
are they
something
gonna
like
do it
some
virtually?
5. They're probably going to do like 5 or 6,000.
They did the iHeart concert from Vegas. They did it virtually. All these stars, they were in their own little studios, and they did it virtually like that.
It'll be interesting to find out.
Well, anyway, so Halloween, like it or not, the thumbs up, thumbs down. Leave your comments down below. You know, let us know. What do you think about it? What is your opinion on it? If you haven't subscribed to this channel, go ahead and do so. Hit that subscribe channel and ding on that bell, because every time we'll throw a video, you always know that we're there. Anyway, this is Jay.
I'm Rose.
And this has been the Puerto Rican VCast and our opinions. Until next time. Adiós. Dios les bendiga. And hasta luego.
Bye-bye.